is my third time starting this video. So today I'm going to talk about Saturn and Neptune being together in Pisces, and it's happening right now, uh, both according to tropical and Vedic astrology. But in tropical, Saturn and Neptune are in Aries, but in Vedic, they're together in Pisces. But I'm gonna talk about everything, like just Saturn and Neptune being together without any signs, how it could be like, how it has been like, and also Saturn and Neptune in Pisces, and also Saturn in Pisces, because Saturn will move on from Pisces within like 2.5 years, but Neptune's gonna be there for like 20-ish year or 15, I don't know. But yes. So let me check when was the last time there was a Saturn and Neptune conjunction, and I hope I'm speaking loudly enough so you guys can hear me. Okay. Let me just pause the video. Okay, so according to the internet, the last time Saturn and Neptune were together was in 1989. So a lot. It has been a long time. 20 years? No, not 20. 40? 40, right? 30? I don't know. Okay, so let's talk about it. Saturn, what is Saturn? Like, astrologically, Saturn is a planet that changes its... Oh my god. Saturn is a planet that changes its sign every 2.5 years. And... oh, she's fast. Okay. Saturn changes its zodiac every 2.5 years. And it's usually archetypically the working class, the hardworking planet, even though it's a slow moving planet. So whatever it's going to do is going to take a long time. It represents the working class. So all the people who work for their living, I mean, in a way everybody does, but not including the celebrities, the politicians, the royalty, people like those. They don't really count. So, people who have jobs, teachers, uh, laborers, um, if you work in a restaurant, that any work. That's why if you want to check your career, you should check your 10th house, but also Saturn, wherever your Saturn is in your chart. So that's Saturn. And wherever Saturn goes, it's going to slow that process down. So if it's in Pisces right now. So I think a lot of artistic people, a lot of spiritual, philosophical people, I think they're going to see that the progress is slowed down. I don't know if they're going to care or not, but the progress is going to be very slow in their life. If they're learning something, they might face a lot of delays and disappointments, because Saturn, wherever Saturn goes, she's going to be like, honey, you have to work hard there. You have to work harder than everybody else, and you have to have some standards in that area. Like, you cannot just be doing the least bare minimum work and expect success. If you're here with me, I'm gonna make you work really hard. If you're here with me, I'm gonna make you refine things around you, and then I'm gonna make you have some standards. So that's Saturn in Pisces. Now, what's Neptune? Neptune is a planet which rules Pisces together with Jupiter, and It's supposed to be a very mystical, magical planet, and anything that is magical and mystical, but also the kind of magic and mysticism that's like fake or is a delusion. So, like witches, wizards, yes, but also the magicians, who people who are like into the tricks, the trickery, the trickster. It is a trickster planet as well, along with Uranus, but it's more about uh, our own delusions that we project onto the world. Uh, if you if you have ever watched Sailor Moon, there's a character, Sailor Neptune, who has a mirror as one of her weapons or magical items, and it's very telling about Neptune. Like, because mirrors, it's a magical mirror, and mirrors are basically a projection, yes, but delusions. They're not real. They're a hologram almost. So that's Neptune, and what happens when these two things come together. Now, what I told you before, how Saturn works with Pisces, it's almost like that, but Neptune is also, when it comes to significances, it's also anything that is liquid, anything that is chemical, so like alcohol, drugs, and perfumes. I mean, chemicals are used everywhere, so I think there might be some kind of breakthrough in our world when it comes to chemicals. There might be a breakthrough in perfume industries, maybe alcohol industry, I don't know. But these are the things that might end up happening. And wow, people are loud. I'm sorry if you can hear them more than me. Um, but that's it's my first time making a video outside, and there are a lot of distractions. So yeah, maybe I should just come here to chill because it's fun. But like, I don't know, being in public is kind of weird also for me. But anyways, I digress. Let's move on. Yeah, so Saturn and Neptune, what would happen? I think, because I listened to this 9 hour long podcast, which is super fun, and they discussed Neptune and Saturn throughout history. And I think because Saturn is working class, and then Neptune is that Piscean energy, that hipster, magical, mystical energy. A lot of people might end up being very hippie, but not in a bad way. Just their lifestyle would just naturally become a little philosophical and kind of spiritual, and hopefully, because Pluto is in Aquarius in Vedic, and sorry, in tropical, and Capricorn in Vedic. Hopefully this whole commercialization of spirituality stops here, or gets much less worse. Like, yeah, buying crystals, I mean, I used to do that too. I sometimes still do, but buying crystals, and it, like, all these things becoming a trend, instead of these things becoming a trend, these things should be genuinely adapted by the world, by people who want to, of course. And I think a lot of people are going to embark on this journey that, hey, I'm a tarot reader, I want to be a tarot reader, because what Neptune does, it makes whatever sign it goes in, it makes that the significances of that sign a whole trend. So if it goes in Aries, everybody wants to fight, everybody's a warrior. If it goes in Pisces, everybody's a tarot reader, everybody's a witch. If it's in Scorpio, everybody is a dominatrix, everybody is into occult. Uh, Aquarius, everybody's a freedom fighter, everybody's a revolutionary, and because these things become into trends, some people might just want to look like that, want to project that outside and not actually be it. So, like a lot of fake spiritual influencers, stuff like that might happen. But because Saturn is there for the beginning of this, I think Saturn is coming here as like a parent, like, let me take care of this thing and let me make sure people are only entering this Neptune Pisces energy if they actually want to, if it's meant to be for them and not because it's a fucking trend. So I love that, this whole thing happening, that Saturn is there to help uh, Neptune be more stabilized. Uh, what else? Because Pisces is like all the musicians, the artists, the singers, the philosophers, the spiritual people. These people might face a lot of limitations, a lot of criticism by the world. And the good side, the positive side that I could come up with when it comes to this thing could be that maybe we won't get mediocre content anymore or so much. Maybe the public will really, because Saturn is public and working class, so the people will really call these shitty artists out who are just more focused on producing than actually uh, making something that's worthy or making something that means something. So I think you could see it a little with Dochi, Chapel Roan, all these like artists who are really making a lot of efforts and people praising them instead of always focusing on the same four artists who every album sounds the same, feels the same, maybe it's in a different color, and it's more about making money for these people. So people are going to call out artists, musicians, celebrities who pose as Pisces types, but they're just really very money minded and greedy. So I hope that happens. It also happened in Bollywood. There's this movie that came out with two Nepo kids, and everybody really hated it. I was looking at so many, like, my friends were sending me a lot of reels about it, and it was just like really funny, and I was really glad. It also happened with this other movie called Animal. People really called it out. Like, some people were for it, some people were against it, but then there's this another movie that came out which was apparently bopper or more, which went more hit than these other shitty movies. And I was like, okay, should I be start being hopeful for the world? Because this movie, it's called Lapata Lady, it's a really nice movie. And yeah, um, hopefully people, the Piscean types, the spiritual people, the artists, the philosophers, they will be forced, maybe by themselves or by the need of the world, to refine their skills and refine their work and have some standards up there. They won't be forced to create more and more and more, but they will be forced to make sure what they're creating is actually good. They will be forced to stop if they're just creating to get it done and get over it and just post it. And of course, um, this energy of Saturn and Neptune, it might not be so relevant, and so no, sorry, it might not appear all of a sudden. Maybe by the end of this Saturn in Pisces, we could look back and think about it like, okay, yeah, maybe that's how it worked, because Saturn's energy is super slow, because Saturn is slow and Neptune is even slower. So these results of this conjunction we might not see right away, but we could in the future look back and what happened will make sense. So that's what I meant. Mm, now, I'm just gonna give you a little bit from the podcast that I heard, which talked about what happened in history when Saturn and Neptune were together. So, by the way, I should really give a shout out, even though I don't know how many people are watching this, but I should really give a shout out to this podcast. I love it. Although they don't need a shout out, a lot of people watch it. It's called the Astrology Podcast. It's a very simple name to remember, and one of their that's the podcast that I was talking about. Okay, so uh, one of my favorite things that they mentioned was about Razia Sultan. Razia Sultan was this Indian ruler in I don't know what year, but yeah, she was like a queen, but like not wife to the king, but the ruler queen. And I think it was like she was one of the first people who were allowed to reign as a woman, and she was like very slay. She was like India's Joan of Arc, basically. That's what she was. So yeah, that's Saturn and Neptune conjunction was when she came into power. That's what happened. And other thing that happened was a lot of spiritual leaders getting criticized so much to a point that they have to flee their countries. So a lot of cult leader, a lot of spiritual leaders, they had to flee their countries and set up shop somewhere else. And then in some cases, they found success there after fleeing their country, which makes sense because Pisces connects to the 12th house, which is the house of going to far off places, distance places, long journeys, long travels. So, by the way, if you want to know about the 12 different houses um, in astrology, then I posted a video about it. I mean, I think it's still posting because it's so slow, but like it should be out by the time you see this video. So go check it out. Okay. So, yeah, a lot of religious leaders faced criticism. They had to flee the countries. A lot of culty and religious organizations either came into rise or were shut down or cancelled. That's another thing. And what else? I'm so sorry. It was like a 9. It was a lot, which I love, but now I don't remember shit. Hmm. I don't know. I think, yeah, like oh, yeah, sorry. I remember now. I think this was the time where people began to gain class consciousness. This was the time where the atrocities by the leaders, by the government, were so much. People were people were ostracized to like such a point that they were forced to be revolutionaries. They were forced to protest and say no and go against the power. But more than this being the time where people go against the power, I think this is going to be the time where people are going to face a lot of those atrocities, a lot of those bullshit from the power, from the people from power, the 1%, the government, the leaders, celebrities, everyone, that they will start realizing how wrong this is. And hopefully, when Neptune goes to Aries, that's when a lot of people will be revolting against the power. But that's a whole another topic. But I really hope that happens. I hope instead of forced conscriptions, I hope people revolt against the power. I hope that happens because, yeah, people need to do better. the people in power. Everyone, but like, yes. Okay, so I think that's all I have to say about this whole beautiful, perfumey, alcoholic conjunction we are in together right now. Also, like the grass. The grass is amazing. I mean, it's not really grass, but people should have these more than the grass. Like, come on, don't be like fascist with bad taste. Okay, ta-ta, bye.